Andrei Yirmak runs Zelensky's office, and he's joining me now from Kyiv. Welcome back to our program. I don't know where to begin. I think to begin by asking you, have you and your team been able to make any sense of what happened in Russia? And specifically, have you thought about how it could benefit you or vice versa?
First of all, hello. You see, I'd like to say that practically 500 days of the heroic struggle of Ukrainian destroyed the myth of invincibility of the Russian army. And I think that the events and all these things of the last days, it's finally destroyed the myth of that everything in Russia is under control. We can see this control. And of course, I think it's one more evidence that the Putin's attempt to revive the USSR, it's finally failed. I think that it's a very strong signal that the war in Ukraine, this terrible, barbaric, illegal invasion, which started in 24 of the February last year, and the war, as you know, started many years ago in 2014. Of course, everything which happened in Russia last days is the results of this war. Mm-hmm. And this is a result of, how I said, practically 500 days of the brave fightings of Ukrainian nations. And, you know, I think it's after these events, more people in the world, more sure about Ukrainian victory.
Well, let me ask you two questions to follow up. One is to respond to what may have been wishful thinking from your camp and maybe many other camps. You tweeted over the weekend while all this was going on, a Russian civil war was the only plausible outcome to Putin's unlawful invasion of Ukraine. History shows us all dictators eventually collapse under the weight of their contradictions, even their hubris. So, okay, Putin remains in power. He's just given a few demonstrations of the fact that he, you know, stared down Prigozhin. But do you think this is the first, you know, sort of serious chink in his armor, or will he double down because he's come out on top?
You know, it's, they started calm down, and they started, as we Ukrainians think, they started in 24 February last year. But these last days, they more confirmed that they not control the situation. Mm-hmm. They not living in reality. And of course, they can't make the really some real decisions. And I think in any way, we're all of the world seeing this show, and of course, but in any way, I think it's will have historical and very serious influence for everything which will be in the future. And of course, I'm sure that the many people in the world, especially many world leaders, will change his opinion and will change his trust of everything which said and will say Putin in the future.